My friends and fellow travelers across the globe, I am coming to you live right now. And yes, I said live, which is absolutely crazy to me because look where I am. I am currently in Antarctica, our southernmost continent, this white, icy desert that very few people get to see. And I'm here today to share it with you. My name is Shaylyn Potter, and I'm an undersea specialist currently traveling with Lindblad Expeditions aboard the beautiful National Geographic Resolution. This is a purpose-built expedition ship. She's a new build. This is my first time on board, and it is absolutely stunning, I'm telling you. And she is built for expedition, exploration, and she's all about pushing limits, pushing boundaries. And if you can see the X-bow, it's kind of that funky shaped bow that you're not used to seeing with other ships. That means this X-bow has the ship purpose-built for ice. And we really got to test that out today. It's been super exciting. So with this new ship and the expertise of the expedition team, the bridge team, and under Captain Martin's lead, we were able to push super far deep in the WAP, the Western Antarctic Peninsula. And this morning, so exciting, we were even able to cross the Antarctic Circle. And it was exciting for me as staff on board, for all the crew who have been working here many years, because we don't often get to get this far south. And so we crossed the Antarctic Circle. It's about 66 degrees south. We had a nice little party out on the decks. There were tabular bergs all around us. We rang the bell and cheered with champagne. So really nice vibes, high energy. It felt like true Antarctic exploration. And then as we continued to sail, we ran into tons of ice. So there's these big flat ice flows, big tabular icebergs from the ice shelves, different shapes of the icebergs calved off into the ocean, and we really got to see the capabilities of the Resolution. This is what she was built for. This is what she's all about, is ice travel, and we got to see it firsthand today. And as we were coming through the ice, we were unsure we could make it this far south. We didn't know, but we gambled on it, and again, we're using those charts, relying on the expertise of our team and our captain and our expedition leader, and we thought, let's go for it. Let's see how far we can get. So we got to be out on decks, just stunning scenery all around us, these big fjord walls, and we just weaved and carved through all the ice, and it just felt like butter. The ship was beautiful to travel on the ice through, and as we were coming further south, we found what we were looking for. And we didn't know if we'd find it, so that's why we're so excited, and we're streaming to you live from Antarctica right now from the fast ice. So right now, I am standing, this is what's called fast ice, and it's essentially frozen ocean. So we are standing on the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica right now. And we were able to walk, and the ship pulled into the fast ice. We dropped the gangway, and we've been able to explore this beautiful place. So we're down past the Antarctic Circle in a place called Lallemand Fjord, and everything you're seeing around me, we see the high peaks of the fjord walls, but everything else is what we call seascape, frozen ocean. Now this is different than the ice we've been seeing throughout the expedition, different from a lot of the ice we saw coming in here. This is not glacial ice. So if we think about those massive tabular flat-topped bergs we saw coming in, or the really funky shaped bright blue icebergs, those are glacial ice. So those are forming on the Antarctic continent, up in the ice sheets, and it's years after years, hundreds or thousands of years actually, of precipitation falling. It gets tightly compacted, compressed. It'll flow downstream with the glacier. It becomes a tidewater glacier and calves off into the ocean, floats away, and that's when we see these bergs floating around. But today, this ice is seasonal ice. And we're right about at the end of the Antarctic summer right now, so most of the fast ice around the continent has actually melted, broken up, and drifted away. And that allows for huge phytoplankton blooms, which allows all of the animals like whales and seals to move into that area to feed. So it's really, really productive water. And that's why we had to come this far south, past the Antarctic Circle, farther south than most people get to come to find the fast ice this late in the season. And so now that we're here, we got to get out, walk around, and we can even eat it. This is fresh water. This is not salt water, even though it froze up from the ocean. Yeah, you can eat it, it's good. And so when the Antarctic winter comes, and of course the temperature will drop all around the continent, and that allows the fresh water to freeze out of the ocean. That'll leave a bit of a super saline solution below it. And then if you think about the Antarctic continent, it's land, right? It's mountains and glaciers. The ice will freeze out of it. So it's fast to the land, attached to the land. That's why we call it land fast ice, because it's just an extension of that land out over the Southern Ocean, which is floating on the water. And that every winter will nearly double the size of the Antarctic continent. So we can't really see that from sea level. That's a hard perception to have, but we know this because we have satellite data that we're able to study the changes and see this sea ice formation. So that happens over the winter, and you can imagine that if it's more than half of the land of the Antarctic continent, it's incredibly important for the entire ecosystem and all the animals that live here. So animals like Weddell seals, which we saw today, we saw them on the floes coming in, they're hauled out on the ice now. They use the fast ice as a resting ground between deep foraging dives. They use it as a pupping ground. And our beloved emperor penguins, everybody's favorite penguin, the really tall ones, the true Antarctic penguins, they rely pretty much fully on fast ice for their breeding grounds. And then animals, small animals like zooplankton or the krill, and krill are the base of the food chain here in Antarctica. They're feeding the whales, the seabirds, the seals. All of the wildlife we're seeing rely on this krill, and the krill are feeding underneath the sea ice on things like diatoms and other phytoplankton. So they are really reliant on this fast ice as well. And so it's important. This whole ecosystem in Antarctica is a marine ecosystem. They're all obligate marine animals, are completely reliant on this ice. And as climate change progresses and other anthropogenic changes progress, we are really worried about the fast ice. Scientists are worried about this because as things change, and we know they will change, what's going to happen to these animals? What's going to happen to this ecosystem? And the truth is, we don't know a lot of those answers. We have a lot to learn about this really wild place. And so it's very important for us to be documenting and sharing these expeditions because knowledge is power, right? And so it's important to push scientific exploration, scientific study, so we can learn what's happening here, what is changing, what that might affect, and how can we as humans maybe change or mitigate those impacts. And for me personally, I'm really invested in science communication and global outreach because I think it's important to get people like emotionally connected about a place. How can you care about a place you've never been to? And how many people get to come to Antarctica? So by talking about it and sharing it and getting people involved in this outreach, then we can really form the basis of big, big change. And so it's been this amazing time here. I've been working in Antarctica since 2015, and I come back every season, and they say you come down here for the animals, but you stay for the ice, and you fall in love with the ice, which has proven to be true for me. And I plan to make Antarctica my area of lifelong study and expertise. And I think everybody aboard the National Geographic Resolution today will really agree that ice has a special impact. This whole continent in this place has had a huge impact and change on their life and their attitude about it. I've heard so many comments from guests aboard today saying that it's been very emotionally moving to drive the ship through all of this ice. They've never seen anything like it. It's completely otherworldly, and it's really, really moving. And so I feel truly privileged, and I feel a lot of joy for being able to travel here with Lindblad Expeditions aboard the National Geographic Resolution, to be able to document this place and to see what our changing planet has to offer and how we can mitigate what we're doing here and push for change, push for good. And I love it here. I hope I've been able to instill a little bit of passion in you, and you continue to learn about this environment and this wild, wild place and these cool animals. And hopefully you'll get to come here one day and enjoy the ice. And thanks for tuning in.